Oh, good morning. It's Saturday morning here in Hilo. I thought I'd just very quickly talk about the two engines that I flew yesterday because they were something new to me, and I just thought I'd share a couple of the things that I noticed that were different from flying some of the other types of units that I had flown. So if I come up real close, initially I flew here this Walker Jet, and I don't think they've been making Walker Jets for a while. And the engine on it didn't have a lot of push, even with the three blades on the back. But perhaps my biggest thing that I struggled with on the ground was really that it just didn't feel that comfortable. The seat itself, I did tend to have the leg straps fairly tight here, but the shoulder straps don't have a lot of padding in them, and as a result it was just a little bit more uncomfortable to get off the ground. And then of course the high hang point was also just something to get used to. But once in the air, actually, it was pretty damn comfortable, and I enjoyed flying it. The biggest thing that I noticed while actually flying was, of course, trying to make a turn. It was not very responsive at all. You really have to use, if you've got tip steering made quite a big difference. No weight shift, of course, anything like that. The other thing I mentioned here is it's got like a slightly older throttle on. Hopefully you guys can see that. Right-hand throttle for me, which is also something different. I'm normally a left-hand throttle, but you see here the elastic is actually worn out over time. So having Velcro adjustments definitely ideal. And then of course with the trigger, it's using your index finger or primary fingers, which for me, when I'm flying, I'm normally utilizing those for controlling my toggles, and I use my bottom two fingers on the other throttles that I have. So with that, those were definitely some very distinct differences to try and get used to. And but overall, I had a lot of fun. Unfortunately, this engine does seem to have a bit of a problem. I'm not quite sure what's going on with it. It did actually die on me in one flight yesterday, and it started off with a couple of little kind of scenario, and then a backfire, and it did keep flying for a while, but it gradually lost power and eventually did cut out on me. So not quite sure what's going on with that one. So I'm going to cut from this video. I'll do a second video and talk more specifically about the flat top that I did as well.